part of activities to celebrate the 70th birthday anniversary of the ERELU Kuti IV of Lagos, Her Royal Highness ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, a lecture which is aimed at educating and finding solutions to the crisis bedeviling all parts of the world, including Nigeria, was held on Friday, 28th of July 2017. Guests converged as expected, looking all shades of beautiful, as each anticipated the celebration of a woman who has been described as a perfectionist, one who does nothing in half measures. ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU indeed ages with grace and elegance. The event, which was held at the exquisitely decorated hall of the prestigious Landmark Event Center, Oniro Village, Lagos, had an impressive turnout of high-profile personalities, which cut across different walks of life. Dignitaries at the event were former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who was the chairman of the occasion, Sir Gabriel Igbenedion, CFR, the Esama of Benin Kingdom, who came in company of some traditional rulers and Edo chiefs, Governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikola Amosu and wife, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosu, former Governor of Oyo State, Christopher Adebayo Alao-Akala, former Governor of Osun State, Prince Olagunsoyin Oyinlola, former Governor of Ogun State, Otumba Gbenga Daniel and wife, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Honorable Abike Dabire Arewa, General Ike Nwachukwu, David Jembeon and wife, Senator Adeleke Oloronimbe Mamora, President of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Chief Nike Akonde, former Inspector General of Police, Alhaji Musliu Smith. Also in attendance were Africa's richest woman, Chief Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, Africa's richest man and owner of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Chairman Fort Oil, Mr. Femi Otedola, Founder, First City Monument Bank FCMB, Otumba Shopemi Balogun and wife, Real Estate Guru, Senator Sumbo Onitiri, Edo State-born auto merchant and owner of Inemike Motors, Chief Mike Inegbese and wife, Chief Oyewole Fashawe, Veteran designer, Chief Mrs. Abba Folawiyo, Chairman of Sunny Motors, Chief Sunny Asemota and wife, Hajiya Bola Shagaya, Olorogun Dr. Sunny Kuku, Chief Emeka Ayonko, former Secretary General, Commonwealth of Nations, Chairman of Skybank, Dr. Tunde Ayeni, former Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Alhaja Sinotu Ojikutu, Prince Samuel Adedoyin, Professor Patu Tome, Mrs. Tenny Aofiebi. Royal fathers present at the event were the Alaki of Egbaland, His Royal Majesty, Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, wife of the Oni of Ife, Oloriwurola Zainab Ogunsi, among others. The event kicked off with the national anthem, which was followed by the opening prayer. First to lead in prayers was the Archbishop of Lagos, His Grace, Most Reverend Alfred Adewale Martins. The Islamic prayer, which was to be led by the Chief Missioner of Ansaruddin Society of Nigeria, Sheikh Abdurrahman Ahmad, was led by his representative, Alhaji Imam Tijani Gbajabiamila. This was followed by the traditional prayer. Mr. Kunle Elegbede, the first son of the celebrant, in the opening remark, welcomed all to the 70th birthday anniversary of his mother, the ERELU Kuti IV of Lagos and Egbaland, ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU. He said she's an icon that transcends the social, cultural and business spheres, adding that she is a national treasure who is loved by all. Mr. Kunle Elegbede highlighted some of ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU's achievements. He said she has transformed the title of ERELU to be one of the most sought-after traditional titles in Nigeria, adding that she has contributed immensely to the development of not only Nigeria but Africa as a whole. She is the ERELU of the world, he stressed.
She is the ERELU of Lagos, ERELU Kuti IV. She is also ERELU of Egbaland, amongst other titles. She is an icon that transcends tradition, cultural, and business spheres. My mother is indeed a national treasure whom we all love. I remember so many instances in my life that her patience, perseverance, good counsel, and uncanny instinct that supported me personally and supported my siblings. She's a smart, audacious, daring. She's of course an undisputed visionary.
The keynote speaker, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, a distinguished Nigerian scholar and diplomat, in his lecture said he was honored to be called to give the lecture on the 70th birthday anniversary of the ERELU of Lagos. Her Royal Highness ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, adding that she has done very well for the society by organizing a lecture aimed at educating Nigerians on the prevailing societal decadence. He said the lecture has come at the appropriate time.
If you look at the remarkable trajectory of Her Royal Highness ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, the ERELU Kuti the Fourth of Lagos, this is a reflection of her life. This is a reflection of her great-grandfather, King DOSUNMU, who worked for peace with the then British colonial power, which led to the amalgamation of the various components making up, in 1914, the Nigeria that we know today. I thought with you in honor of a woman whose personal and professional achievements are unequal. In many respects, and justifiably so, ERELU is a household name in Lagos and also in many parts of Nigeria. Secondly, I wish to proudly identify, and who won't want to identify, with this royal juggernaut, the princess of Nigeria's coastal city in the state of elegance and excellence. Do not hesitate, because I know it is going to be grand as usual, for ERELU doesn't do anything in half measures. And as you can see, I don't know how many people can really bring out the best and brightest in Nigerian society as she has done. Please give her another round of applause.
Speaking on the global lessons learned and best practices to the development and growth of the country, Professor Ibrahim Gambari said, Nigeria must develop best practices to help chart the way forward for its development. He said Nigerians should be proud of their heritage. We must take our position within a common ground and focus on human security and peace.
But fourth and finally, I believe that the themes of this lecture today is appropriate and timely, especially for our nation Nigeria, that in recent times is facing horrendous peace and security developmental challenges. It's important to them try to reflect on the best practices all over the world, the best practices in Africa that can also help us in charting the way forward. Because Nigeria, we believe that we are exceptional. In many ways we are. But we are part and parcel of the destiny of Africa. And that's why it's often said that wherever Africa is going, Nigeria is going to get there first. Therefore, it's important for Nigeria to go in the right direction. We are a leader in the continent, for sure. But we must lead by example. And it has to be continuous leading by example. Not yesterday, not the time of Murtala Mohammed, not the time of the first coming of General Obasanjo, not the time of Buhari in the first incarnation, but continuously. Leadership has to be continuous maintenance of the position that we occupy. We have to lead by example and not by ascription alone.
In addition, Professor Ibrahim Gambari said, ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU is an icon of peace. He thereby moved the motion that she be given a national honor. He concluded by saying that what Nigeria needs is a strong leader and a strong institution, which is the only way our dear nation can attain greater heights.
The energy, the resourcefulness, the enthusiasm of the young people and African women speak with all of us in congratulating ERELU Kuti the Fourth of Lagos for the impact she has made during these 70 years on earth, and to reiterate that nations are built by men and women who have the will and vision to accomplish greatness, not for themselves, not for their immediate families, not for their friends, but for their country. Long live Her Royal Highness ERELU Dr. ABIOLA DOSUNMU, long live Lagos State, long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Reverend Alfred Adewale Martins, the Archbishop of Lagos, prayed for the celebrant, Her Royal Highness ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU. He said the topic of the lecture is one that the country needs at this moment of crisis. He said the youth are a vital part of this nation. Therefore, there is a need to educate and shield them so that they will not be used as instruments of destruction. He prayed that God will continue to strengthen the celebrant as he wished her a blissful life in the service of God and humanity.
Shall I say expression of Psalm 19, verse 10, which orders is 70 is the sum of our years, 80 for those who are strong. For these numerous one acts, 90 and above for those stubborn. And I believe that this expression is only to give our wish towards the ERELU that as she has attained the sum of 70, she will also attain 80 for those who are strong, and that she will also join the rank for those who are in a very positive way stubborn, reaching 90 and above. We pray that the Lord will grant this wish to us through Christ our Lord.
Afterwards, the event's compere, Tunde Adewale aka TA, called the panelists to the platform, as each of them gave useful suggestions that the government can employ to help in the development and growth of the country. Chief Philip Asiodu, former Minister of Petroleum Resources, when asked on the ways Nigeria can make progress, said, "The development of Nigeria is a collective responsibility of its citizens." He said he foresees a civilized nation free of illiterates in the year 2040 if all hands are on deck. He commended ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU for coming up with a lecture to reflect on the happenings in the country and wished her more years in good health and comfort as she continues to play her role in the social and economic spheres of the country.
Let us think about what Nigeria should be 20 years hence. Get a plan for 2040 and prospective economic development plans to make us industrialized by 2040. But also, we must pursue education first, because I believe that within 15 years to 20 years of good policy, there will be no disadvantaged states. And let us do our best to make sure that by 2040, Nigeria will be perhaps 350 million people, nobody illiterate, no disadvantaged states, an industrialized country, and a country with significant military power, so that we can play that role we used to play of being a guarantor of regional peace, of being one of the leading members of the non-allied nation. And then our children and grandchildren, they will not die like last year.
Former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who was the chairman of the occasion, congratulated the celebrant, Her Royal Highness ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, for attaining the Platinum Jubilee age. He commended her efforts in the areas of peace and security in the country, further commending her for organizing an intellectual lecture to discuss germane issues in Nigeria. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo said God has blessed Nigeria with good and adequate resources, adding that Nigeria has all the resources to make her a great nation and a leading force in Africa and the world at large in terms of technology, economy, military power, and all other ramifications. He said the country needs worthy leaders who can put into proper use its resources and channel it to productive sectors, which can boost the economy.
And ERELU, I know how stubborn you are, so I have no doubt that you will make it to 90 and beyond. Once again, congratulations and many happy returns. Those who are talking about war, they don't know what war is. If they have experienced war, they will not talk about war. And what do we have to do? We need a country which God has given to us to make a great country. All the ingredients of making Nigeria a great country is there. I have just produced a book with 3 co-authors, which we titled Making Africa Work. And our conclusion from interviews and people we talk to on the streets, leaders in all walks of life, is that Africa is not poor. Africa is poorly managed. And that applies to Nigeria, probably to Nigeria more than any other country. Nigeria is not poor. If we put our hearts together, Nigeria has all that it needs to lead Africa and to be among the 10 leading leading countries in the world in every sense of that. In technology, in the economy, in military power, in every sense. And if what we are talking about is how to break ourselves up, we will not encourage the investment that we need to be a strong economy.
Professor Patu Tomi, a leading professor of political economy and management expert, in his review of the topic said, Nigerians must work harder and refocus, adding that in order to grow, it must diversify into other sectors of the economy rather than depend on oil alone.
And I say this to challenge all of us, because we in this room are the problems of Nigeria. We have not run Nigeria as it should be run, and we are in trouble as a country. Until we can take responsibility for the failure of the Nigerian economy, we will not begin to get it right. But Nigeria is fortunate. It is in a position to either harvest a demographic dividend because it has a young population which, if we invest appropriately in the education and in this country, and we have not shown the leadership to get it out of place. That is the challenge before us today, not ethnicity. All those ethnic tensions are just ways of reflecting frustration with a country whose economy has not been run properly.
Art mogul and founder of Terror Culture, Bolanle Austin Peters, said the creative industry needs to be taken more seriously, adding that it is a good sector that will drive the economy forward. He appealed to the government to invest in the creative industry as it has a lot of potentials to move the country forward.
In addition to that, he had asked me, what can government do to ensure that this industry thrives? There is no point lip serving. We keep talking about it, we keep talking about it. The reality is that those of us that are in it and are making a change are making the change in spite of government. The industry has grown without participation or encouragement from the government. So all I can say is the government takes this seriously. So far, we have efforts from the Ministry of Culture and Information, and the intention is that hopefully the government can put money or infrastructure to support this space. Then we might begin to make the necessary yields that we're looking at. Let's take, for example, how do you talk about tourism, or how do you talk about promoting the arts in a country where you have no galleries, you have no theaters, you have, even the theater that we have, the National Arts Theater, has been lying dormant for close to 40 years. In a situation like that, I don't know who we're fooling ourselves if we do we want to move the agenda forward if infrastructure is not there to support the industry.
Prince Lekon Fadino, who is an economist, said Nigerians must recognize the past work of our hero and historical aspect in order to move forward.
Unless we protect our historical assets, we cannot move anywhere. And this today, young men are, I'm in support of having young men be in a position, but at the same time, there must be a tutelage period. And the old men too must also try to do a process of mentoring. So as we move into the new world, we have a lot of work to do. We must build fences, we must build capacity. Human capacity building is key factor. We must develop our culture. Today, we are talking about knowledge age. In 2015, Austria was made the knowledge world. And I think in April this year, the UN and UNESCO signed an agreement which they call Partnership for Development for Knowledge. Unless Nigeria keys itself into that knowledge age, we shall be missing things out.
Sir Emeka Anyonku, former Secretary General, Commonwealth of Nations, in his remark said, "It is a pleasure to be celebrating the 70th birthday anniversary of a quintessential woman who has stood and still stands for public spiritedness." He concluded by wishing her more beautiful things ahead and many fruitful returns.
It's an undisputed pleasure for me to join in wishing her many more happy returns of today. And long may you continue to be the service to this country and to Africa, because I must say that the born of creation, when ERELU was hosted at function in Newborn Street, and Englishman, a very high noble Englishman, said to me, "How many such elegant royalties do you have in your country?" And at that time I said to him, "If I must confess the truth, I don't know any other." And so, ERELU, many happy returns and God bless you.
A documentary on the Celebrant, produced by Biscon Communications, was aired at the event. Thereafter was the book launch, which was supervised by the Governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, and the former chairman of Skybank, Dr. Tunde Ayeni. The books launched were ERELU, Mother of Royalty, and A Legacy of Honor.
I present this book to all of us, ERELU, Mother of Royalty, and I'm sure that everybody should have this, because ERELU is ERELU of, for me, ERELU of Egbaland and ERELU of Lagos. Yes, so we are going to take this thing home to Ogun State. I will buy for all of us, we'll put it in all our palaces, and we have many of that back home. And I'm sure that I recommend this book to all of us to have a feel of, to truly know who ERELU is. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to do this. ERELU, I will come back to you. We are going to buy many copies of this lovely book. Congratulations, man.
A Legacy of Honor. The book is very rich. It depicts Lagos from the 91, talking about 1861, sorry, speaking to the history of slave trade, the powers and president of Lagos, up to the time the capital of Lagos was moved to Abuja, and now being the seat of commerce for the country and the entire region. I congratulate the Celebrant for this beautiful book, and I commend it to all of us to please take a copy and learn more about what we don't know about Lagos. On behalf of my chairman, We'll launch this book very handsomely, and we'll do that discussion privately.
This was followed by a photo and video session. Next was the cutting of the cake, coordinated by Olorogun Dr. Sani Kuko. The celebrant was joined by her children and grandchildren as the guests merrily sang a happy birthday song. Also, her friends and loved ones took turns to take pictures with her.
So, now we start. 1. Can I hear you say? Can I hear? 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 63. Can you say that again? 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70.
There was a special song rendition by the cultural group Women of St. Anthony Catholic Church, Lagos. The First Lady of Ogun State, Mrs. Olufunso Amosun, in her goodwill message, described the celebrant, Her Royal Highness ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, as a beautiful, charming, eloquent and amiable woman who has tirelessly displayed the capacity to work for the promotion of peace and unity in Nigeria. She wished her many more years of fulfillment.
I'm sure we're all here to celebrate a wonderful, amazing Amazon at the age of 70 in the person of our radiant, beautiful, charming, amiable, dynamic, proactive, beautiful, obviously, ERELU. As we celebrate you today, as you continue to grow gracefully, we pray that each and every year, here in the era that we do celebrate with you, we shall continue to grow under the care of God. May God grant you your heart's desires. Thank everybody who has graced this occasion today, who has come to felicitate with her. Pray that when you're going back home, God will grant you journey mercies.
The toast, which was supervised by the chairman and CEO Biscon Communications, Prince Bisi Olatilo, saw guests on their feet as they charged their glasses to the toast of ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, a quintessential royal cultural ambassador at 70.
Let us try and now clean glasses for this wonderful woman looking 60, but I don't believe she's 70. If you agree with me, then a thunderous hand of applause for ERELU of the world, like somebody called her rightly to me, and I agree with that totally. Thank you very much, ERELU. And thank you, the First Lady, and thank you. And so say all of us, hooray! And so say all of us, and so say all of us, that I can love you,
The vote of thanks was given by the children of the celebrant. First was Oyinkansola Antoinette Dainde Fernandez, and then Adewumi Elegbede.
You celebration. I hope you've had a beautiful day and continue to have a lovely evening. I'd like to call my mother and my siblings, Kudne, Diomi and Ademide, to start the dance floor, to open the dance floor even. Thank you.
I can attest to the fact that many people around the world have said to me, you are fortunate to have her as a mother. Something I fully appreciate. We are now here today to celebrate my mother. And I would like to say to her, on behalf of myself, my siblings, and all the grandchildren, congratulations on your day, and we love you. Congratulations, ERELU of the world.
It was entertainment, merriment and music all the way till the end, as King Sunny Ade, along with the Sugar Band, dished out good music, which kept all grooving to the tunes, sounds and beats of the band.
Àwọn bàbá mú àgbógbó rí ó ti lé tó kó àgbà lóyè àgbógbà bá fẹ́ kúrú mọ̀ bí wọ́n ti ṣe tó kó kó má lè akíní méjì lọ́dẹ̀ ní ìkan ṣoṣo ọ̀dọ̀ ní ti bá ní lójú bá.
From Basecon Communications, we congratulate the ERELU Kuti of Lagos, ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, on the celebration of her 70th birthday anniversary. ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, a woman of substance and influence, has many reasons to thank the Lord, not only for attaining the 70-year-old mark, which according to the Bible means perfection and completeness, but that she also has all the good things life can provide for someone at her age. It was for this reason that family, friends and well-wishers of ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU gathered at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church, Victoria Island, Lagos, venue for the church service for her 70th birthday anniversary on Sunday, the 30th of July 2017. ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, a committed and devoted Christian who has and is still impacting lives positively, was enveloped in loads of love from those who came out to thank God for her life. The church service witnessed an array of dignitaries who came out to support this woman of inestimable value. They include the Alake of Egbaland, His Royal Majesty, Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, the founder, First City Monument Bank, Otumba Shobumi Balogun, former Lagos State PDP governorship candidate, Mr. Jimmy Agbaje, wife of the former governor of Osun State, Princess Omolola Oyinlola, some royal fathers, amongst others. The church service kicked off with a processional hymn, Come Down, O Love Divine, which was followed by the opening prayer. The church service featured a series of hymnals led by the choir of Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church and readings which were taken by the lay readers.
And those whom he called, he also justified. And those whom he justified, he also glorified. The word of the Lord.
In the homily delivered by the clergyman, Reverend Father Julius Olaitan, he said, understanding and wisdom should be what every man should seek from God. Giving instances of some of Jesus' parable, Reverend Olaitan said, the church is a place for all, irrespective of who we are, good or bad. He appealed to all to live lives worthy of emulation, as everyone will be judged according to their deeds on earth. He charged the congregation to pray for wisdom from God in order to live life successfully. The clergyman then sealed his message with prayers.
Jesus was not praising him for his fraudulent act, because the fraudulent act was that he didn't disclose fully to the owner of the land what he saw in the land. He simply sold everything that he had and bought the land, so that the treasure and the land can become his own. So he was not really a very honest man. But Jesus wanted us to learn a lesson from there. That the sons of this world are wise, very wise in the way they deal with others. The sons of the kingdom must be very wise. In the second parable, the man was in search of fine pearls, and suddenly he came upon one of great value, and he went back and he sold everything he had in order to buy that pearl of great price. We've seen parents who sell their lands, sell their homes, sell their cars, so that their children can go to school, because they are searching for that pearl of great price. They know the value of education, and so they are willing to give up anything and everything so that their children can go to school.
This was followed by the prayer of the faithful, the offering, hymnal rendition, the Eucharist, and the Holy Communion. The highlight of the church service was the Thanksgiving session. The session saw the celebrant, the newest septuagenarian in town, ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, graciously dressed in an all-white attire with a necklace to match, approach the altar, dancing in thanksgiving. She was accompanied by her family members, friends, and well-wishers. This was followed by the Harvest Thanksgiving, an annual celebration, as different groups in the church danced out joyfully with their harvest to thank God for His blessings.
servants and educationists to please get ready. All, both retired as well as in service. And we indulge all friends, family, well-wishers, everyone whose lives have been touched by an educationist, a teacher in past and present. Please join in this Thanksgiving.
One God, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. We continue to keep you, for you to lead, behind you to guide you, above you to bless you, with the Father and with you and reign forever and ever. Amen. Of Almighty God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, send upon you all and bring you down forever.
This was followed by the recessional hymn as the congregation headed out of the church, where the celebrant got involved in some video and photo sessions with some of the dignitaries present. The birthday celebration of ERELU Kuti IV of Lagos, Her Royal Highness ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, continued at Terra Culture Event Center, Victoria Island, Lagos, which hosted a large number of family, friends and well-wishers who came to support and celebrate an emblem of success at 70. A woman who has been described by many as fearless, strong and a philanthropist received heavyweight attendance of dignitaries to honor her. Present at the occasion were the Deputy Governor of Osun State, Her Excellency Otumba Mrs. Grace Titilayo Laoye Tomori, wife of Lagos State Governor, Her Excellency Mrs. Bolanle Ambode, was ably represented by the wife of the Lagos State Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, Mrs. Ariola Oluwo, Senator Gbenga Ashafa, Senator Florence Itagiwa, Honorable Demola Sariki. Also present at the occasion were Chief Razak Okoya, Otumba Shobumi Balogun and wife, Olorogun Dr. Sonny Kuko, Justice Adeshola Oguntade, Chief Mrs. Abba Folawiyo, Princess Yewande Onilere, Olori Ladun Shijuade, Chief Sena Anthony, former First Lady of Lagos State, Alhaja Sikirat Abimbola Jakonde, Chairman Biscan TV, Prince Bisi Olatilo, publisher of Vanguard newspaper, Uncle Sam Amuka. The event kicked off with the opening hymn by the Praise Choral Choir. Lord, sing your praise to God. All the earth proclaim the Lord. Sing your praise to God. This was followed by the opening prayer by Reverend Father Clement Obi. In the remarks of the First Lady of Lagos State, Mrs. Bolanle Ambode, who was ably represented by the wife of the Lagos State Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, Mrs. Ariola Oluwo, she thanked God for the celebrant and described her as a woman of great character and accomplishment.
Happy birthday, Auntie. I want to thank everyone this evening and to tell you that Her Excellency Mrs. Bolanle Ambode has been away for some time and she couldn't be here and has sent me in to wish ERELU a very happy birthday and to wish everyone of you who have come to her. I thank you, ma. God bless you. Thank you.
Still continuing with the evening of celebration tagged Night of Songs of Praise and Thanksgiving, the Praise Choral Choir entertained with another hymn titled Great is Thy Faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness, morning by morning, new mercies I see. All night of thee, and I am far from my land. The next item of the night was the first tribute, during which Mrs. Remi Olajumoke, Senator Bode Olajumoke's wife, described the celebrant as elegant, smart, and a silent philanthropist. She also prayed that God will grant her long life and prosperity.
You have always been there for people. You have been there for me. You have been there for so many people I know and not. May God bless you. May God keep you. And you will be older than your father. I told you that earlier on. Because at 70, you are looking so wonderful. And I know that at 80, you will be more beautiful.
The second oration was given by Otumba Shobumi Balogun, who described ERELU Abiola DOSUNMU as a role model who has excelled in everything she has ever laid her hands on. He said he has known the celebrant since she was 16 years old and that she has always distinguished herself. He concluded by praying for the celebrant.
She's a role model to womanhood in this country. You may have been born great within royalty, as many of us have been, but you have to prove it. And in every human endeavor, ERELU has excelled. I have adopted her as my niece over nearly more than 50 years ago. Incidentally, ERELU and my dear Olori Abimbola were classmates, but I have been so close to the family that I've adopted her as a niece, and I will do anything for her.
The celebrant, Her Royal Highness ERELU Abiola DOSUNMU, who is a great lover of music, requested the choral praise choir to perform 5 of her favorite hymns. This was quickly followed by a short sermon by Reverend Father Marcel Obi. In his sermon, he asked everyone to pray for the celebrant and her family, because 70 is not an easy number to attain. He ended his sermon with a song of praise.
I want to thank God for you and the life He's giving to ERELU for us to celebrate. I don't think she's the one celebrating. All of us, we are celebrating with her. And for some of us who have not reached the age of 70, the Bible says our years are 70 years or 80 for those who are very strong. I think it's a prayer for those of us who are not here, not like me, who are, as they said, of course, at the age. But for those who are still crawling to be that age, our prayer tonight is that you reach that age, you find that age in Jesus' name. I think that is why I say we are here to celebrate ourselves.
This was followed by a musical presentation by Ifunanya, who got everyone's attention with her powerful voice. One of the highlights of the event was when the compere called on one of the sons of the celebrant, Prince Adekunle Elegbede, to usher the celebrant, Her Royal Highness ERELU Abiola DOSUNMU, on stage, surrounded by her children and grandchildren, for the toast, which was most ably conducted by Prince Lekan Fadino. The cutting of the birthday cake followed, as supervised by Justice Adeshola Oguntade. The celebrant, ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, was surrounded by her children, grandchildren, friends and well-wishers in cutting the birthday cake.
Let somebody give me a 60. 60. And 70. Happy birthday to you.
A photo and video session later ensued, after which a happy birthday song was sang for the celebrant by all. Her Royal Highness, ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, filled with joy and excitement, thanked everyone present to celebrate with her, as she sang a special number titled Iya Mi Iya, which she dedicated to her late mother, who passed on 30 years ago. The vote of thanks was given by one of the daughters of the celebrant, Princess Ademide DOSUNMU. She thanked everyone for coming and wished her mother many good things life has to offer. It was time to draw the curtain on the glamorous 3-day celebration of the 70th birthday of Her Royal Highness ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, as Reverend Marcel Obi gave the closing prayer. It was immediately followed by the popular Hallelujah chorus to round off the night. From Biscon Communications, we congratulate ERELU Kuti of Lagos, ERELU ABIOLA DOSUNMU, on her 70th birthday celebration.